lot has changed this past year, but one thing hasn't. Consumers still love their pizza. As you pivot to meet the new challenges of food service, Ardent Mills can work with you to tap into that love and make your crust the best it can be. After all, we're more than a leading source of trusted flour brands, mixes, and custom solutions. We're a resource for pizza operators like you. We're ready to support you with high-performing pizza flours, blend and mixes, unparalleled technical expertise, R&D innovation, and long-term contract pricing. And today, as always, we're here to help you grow and thrive. We invite you to check out the Pizza Hub to learn more and request a sample.
Welcome back to Checking In With. This is a show where we get together and talk about operators around the country, but this is a very special episode because this is our last episode. So we have the whole gang, the whole team from Pizza Today on to just kind of talk about the finale and why we're ending the show and kind of what's going on. So Jeremy, what's happening?
Yeah, what's up? This is the grand finale.
This is a good thing, though, that this show's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is not a long, slow, sad goodbye. This is not goodbye. This is see you later. We launched Checking In
At the end of April.
At the end of 2020 as a way to address the pandemic's effects on the pizza industry. You know, COVID-19 decimated the restaurant industry. We were pretty fortunate in the pizza industry to be well positioned to do well, but we knew that the effects of this pandemic were going to be disastrous for many people, and we launched Checking In, this video series, as a way to talk to pizzeria owners about what's going on in their specific shops, in their specific cities, states, regions, locales. How they're addressing the pandemic, how they're getting through it, so that others in their situation could watch, learn from it, get some takeaways, perhaps know that they're not alone, get ideas on ways that they could get through this. Well, and that's run its course. The vaccines are rolling out. They're getting out to the United States population. Business is back. States are reopening. My dog is squeaking his toy. That's one of the joys of working from home. States are reopening. Things are getting back. We're not to normal yet, but they are trending in that direction. And because we have a fantastic weekly podcast,
Yes,
it's not going anywhere.
We really don't need Checking In. It has run its course. It had served its purpose. And that's why today's our last installment.
Yeah. And you know, it's been, like you said, we started this in April 2020, right? Right when
at the end of April.
Yeah. So it's been fascinating to see our first interviews and then like just our last few recent interviews, like that, what has happened throughout the progress. Like we saw it through the summer, like people were reopening a little bit and just seeing the ebbs and flows of the whole year go by. It's been pretty amazing. And it's been, you know, just to be on the other end, listening to the operators, I've been very grateful to pick up with, you know, and just hear what they say. It's just amazing with all the stuff they've been through. It's crazy.
Something I love about Checking In With too that I'm going to miss is that it allowed us to talk to a lot more operators, and maybe operators that we just can't get to when we travel because maybe they're in remote places or it's just hard to travel to them. So being able to talk to everyone from very small seasonal operators to, you know, to the large, you know, high volume people, like it was just really interesting to get their perspective on everything of that was happening right now, because, you know, some were affected and some were just blazing right through it. Others, you know, were struggling. I mean, there was a lot of different perspectives out there, and what I hope is that people will go back and kind of binge watch these a little bit and see, you know, and take some notes on what some people are doing, because I think that there's still a lot to gain from these even after COVID's completely gone.
You know, Denise, it's funny you mentioned that because I did that last night. Actually, I didn't watch every episode, but I did kind of pull a little binge, look back at who some of our guests had been. And what really struck me was early on in the early episodes, you know, we had Tony Gimignani was one of our first guests, And we had a few guests that we had on early and brought on again later. And you could really see just in their face and their body language, those early episodes, the fear was so rampant. It was the fear of the unknown. How long will this last? Will my business get shut down for, like, totally shut down for 6 weeks? And will I survive that if it does? There was so much fear early on. And as we got back to some guests a second time later on, they were more relaxed. There were still a lot of unknowns. There were still a lot of headaches, but it went from genuine fear as to, can I sustain a business model, to, all right, now I got to deal with this headache. Things are okay, but I have to do X, I have to do Y, I have to do Z that I didn't have to do before. And it had become a big inconvenience, but the fear of going out of business was no longer there. And it's if you go back and watch the episodes, you can literally see the confidence slowly rise over time.
Absolutely.
And you see it in our faces as well, in the way we interact. And it's, but that's what struck me the most, was the fear early on.
Right. Those first few episodes they were just kind of dark, honestly, if you want to be, because we're fearful on our side too. We don't know what we're canceling Expo, we're being taken off the road. We don't know what's going on with us. So it's like, there's a fear on both sides, and we're just trying to figure it out on each end. And so, yeah.
And what I love about the most recent episodes is, and all throughout this, there's one question I asked a lot of people, and that was, are you able to plan forward? What are you looking forward to in the next year? And in the, the early, like, man, I'm just taking it day by day. I can't even think about next year. I can't think about 6 months from now. I can't think about anything. And now in the last several episodes, you get people that are like, oh yeah, we're planning to expand. We're changing our business model. We're trying to get employee, whatever those things are. They're actually looking forward. And that's something that in the earlier episodes, they weren't able to look forward. It was just like, I'm just trying to survive. That's it.
Yeah. People are, they had to completely, I hope we don't have to say this word very much after this year, is pivot. I mean, especially if they didn't have a delivery or a takeout kind of concept, if they were a Neapolitan place, relied on all dine-in, they've had to, switch everything. And so when we were talking to them at that time, I think we were talking to Max actually at Pizza Lupo at that point, they just had to close down for a month because they were totally not ready for this. So to see what people's change, and to see what changes are sticking around is the biggest thing. After the last few episodes, it's like there's a lot of changes that are sticking around and are probably going to stay around for a while.
There's a lot of people going to carry out and delivery models, and I don't blame them. You have a worker shortage. You have a lot less headaches when you don't deal with a front of house operation. You don't have servers. You don't have dining areas to deal with, and the expense of having a front of house. So it's definitely something that I can see the perspective, but then also, like, people miss being together and they miss that interaction. You talk to Polly G, and he's probably the biggest one that misses that interaction between him and the guests. So a lot of people are looking forward, and right now loving being able to have guests in their space again.
There's no doubt this pandemic has changed all of us and every business model forever. I mean, early on, we talked to people about the payroll protection program. They're like, my workers are scared to come in. I had to lay off employees because we're operating on a skeleton crew, and we're takeout and delivery only. And normally I would have had 45 employees, and now I'm down to 8. And I feel bad for these people whom I had to lay off. I need the PPP funding. That was the beginning. And now we're to a point to where they don't want to come back to work. Nobody wants to work. I can't find good help. I'm dying here. I'm working 80 hours a week myself because I can't find anyone to work now. And the pendulum has swung so far the other way. And it's changed our lives personally as well. I mean, I can remember, you guys know I'm a baseball fanatic and I have a son who plays. And the first time I got to go to a baseball game again and watch my son play baseball when last season was canceled. And now you see NBA games happening again on television, and you see life returning to normal. but it's not quite normal yet. Things are still just a little off yet. And
Yeah.
we don't know how long that's going to last. But what we do know is Pizza Expo in
Yes.
August is happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
We are going to be under one roof in the convention center. We are going to be celebrating the pizza industry and coming together again in person, face to face, with a live pizza
Mhm.
event.
Absolutely.
Barring an alien invasion, which
Yeah.
could happen. So I'm not ruling that out. I think we're gonna have Pizza Expo.
No, Pizza Expo is on, and everyone is excited. I get emails, I get social media, comments. I get all kinds of things about how excited people are to come back to Pizza Expo. Now, whether it's we've got a fist bump or however it goes down,
Mhm.
Pizza Expo is going to be exciting, and Pizza and Pasta Northeast in
Right, say,
October as
and
well.
we're gonna turn around and do another one in October, and then a few months
And
after
then
that,
kick it
Pizza
back to
Expo
Expo,
again.
yeah, in March. So
I'm exhausted
yeah.
just thinking about it.
If aliens do invade, I'm pretty sure that they will come to Pizza Expo, because pizza
Right.
would probably be
High on
the
their
one
list.
food on our planet that they would savor and enjoy. And I think, Katie, that we're going to, without Bill Oakley runs International Pizza Expo. He's our show director. I'm going to go ahead and go over his head without his approval right now and announce that we will have an extraterrestrial division in the International Pizza Challenge. Any aliens out there listening and they don't want to compete in pan or non-traditional, we will create an extraterrestrial division solely for aliens to compete at International Pizza Expo. And that offer stands to all aliens throughout the universe and any of the
Beyond the
galaxies
universe.
far away.
Let's not drop that on Bill until later on.
This conversation has diverted a little bit. So let's kind
As
of
it
wrap
should.
things up by saying, okay, yes, checking in with is done, but that doesn't mean the Pizza Today crew is done with interacting and getting the perspective of operators. The Hot Slice podcast, which Katie works her booty off on. She's like dynamite at getting that done for us.
Out on time.
And so it drops every Thursday. Every Thursday there's a new episode, us talking more in depthly because they are longer episodes. So we're talking more in depth with operators every week. A couple of other things. We have Pizza Expo 365, which Josh, he basically just, ran the show on that, getting that up and running. And so there's all kinds of seminars and help on 365, and you can interact with operators, you can interact with the online exhibitors. So there is a lot of resources that we're still doing, we're still in charge of. And then of course shows.
Yeah, and like those come out of the pandemic as well, like with checking in. So, and those are things that are going to be sticking around long after. So yeah, I'm excited to do all that. And the podcast, yes, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, please, so that it helps move us up. But yeah, thanks.
And we're always looking for guests for the Hot Slice podcast. We produce it weekly. We do plan out our guests in advance, 10 to 12 in advance, so that we're not in a situation like, which we have been in before, not going to lie. Oh, wow, we need to do the podcast today. We forgot what we're going to have on. Sometimes that happens, but we do plan it out in advance. And if anyone read my commentary, anyone besides my mother read my commentary in last month's issue, you'll see that the headline was "Be Our Guest," and basically what I said was, "Hey, we've got this sweet podcast, and we want you on it. Reach out if you'd like to be a guest." And we've gotten tons of emails about that, which is awesome. Keep those coming in. Anyone watching this checking in with, who just says, "Man, these four are so awesome. I just have to talk to them." I'll let your boy, right? We want to talk to you. Sure.
Yeah. Just reach out anytime, and anytime you see something happening in the industry, or you want to share your story, just with Pizza Today, we are here to take those stories in and see what we can do with them. So please reach out. You can do it through pizzatoday.com. We have a contact us on there. We also through social media, we're on all the platforms, so you can reach out at any spot.
And a special thanks to the pizza operators that come on checking in this past year
Absolutely.
and shared their story. And they were going through a lot of tough times, and they were willing to put their story out there to maybe help somebody else. So a big thank you to them as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and taking the time. Oh my
They
goodness.
were vulnerable, and they were willing to sit down and share that vulnerability and those fears with us because they knew it would help someone else in this great industry. Thank you also to the sponsors. We had several companies sponsor this program throughout the year, and thank you to them as well. And thank you to Katie for your production expertise, and Josh and Denise for always bringing the positivity. And hey, have you guys seen the Sylvester Stallone movie from the 1980s where he was, the arm wrestling champion and
Over the top, yeah.
Over the top.
Yeah. He was a trucker, so he'd come in with his trucker hat, and then when it was time to get serious,
Turn on the machine.
I've gotten lots of emails and text messages from friends in the pizza industry. Shout out to Will Grant, Tony G, Mikey Bausch, and others who have told me they love seeing the backwards cap on all the checking in. So that's the backwards cap that's our go time. That's where we're ready. We're ready to arm wrestle and take down COVID. So shout out to all you guys for noticing that as well.
Well, just like everyone else, we're doing it from our homes. These backgrounds are our actual homes. So, we're blessed to be able to do that in these settings and to have the technology to do it. So, so we really appreciate that. And so just know that we're still out there, and we're gonna move forward and help operators in any way we can, because that's our mission and that's our goals.
Right. Last thing, Denise, we're gonna have a booth. A Pizza Today booth, as always, on the International Pizza Expo show floor. At any given time, one of us four will be there.
Yep.
Come by, say hello, share your story, tell us about your business, about your pizzeria. And to be totally honest, many pizzerias that we have featured in the magazine over the years begin with the conversation on the Pizza Expo show floor when someone we've never met stopped by the booth and is like, I'd love to tell you about my business in Kentucky, Idaho, Florida, Tallahassee, Tennessee,
Absolutely.
whatever. And okay, we love meeting you. We'd love to hear about your business, your business. And then we find out something unique or cool about it. And we're like, oh, wow, we need to write about this place. So,
and everyone knows what we look like. So, you see us out on the show floor, you just see and walk up.
Yes, exactly. So definitely come say hi and tell us about your pizzeria and your business and yourself, because we're always looking for great stories to feature on. Like Denise said, we have many platforms, not just the magazine. So there's definitely a way to get your story out there if you have a great story.
All right. Well, farewell.
Hey,
Checking in with.
Can we say now we're checking out?
Oh. Yes, and now we are checking out.
See you guys.
See ya.